Okay, we can start. Yeah. Now I want to discuss about the motorway operations and control. First, I would just like to show you um, a small video which is from I-24 motorway in not there in US. That's that is the motorway, right? You can see that traffic moving, and I will just pause it for a while. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 lane expressway or motorway. That's an off ramp. The traffic goes out from there. That's an on ramp. The traffic enters from there on the motorway section, right? And this is from it's from the YouTube I-24 expressway in US. But it's a very good one to actually show you like the congestion on the motorway section. So for example, if I look here, what observations you can see? See, the traffic is getting congested, and the bottleneck that you are saying that whenever there is a merging happening on ramp, the bottleneck is there, and see the density variations. Yeah. What else can you see from here? Imagine you are one of the drivers somewhere there. Maybe the speed limit is 100 kilometers per hour. You're driving at a speed of 100, and you're slightly distracted. You might have you're changing the music of your, or you're talking to your kid or whatever, right? You're distracted. You're driving at 100. What can happen if you're not fully attentive? You can easily have a rear end collision. One collision can lead to multiple collisions, right? It's unforgivable when you're driving at a very high speed. Like it's in 1 second, you can just think of traveling maybe 10-20 meters. You think it like 1 second is 1 second, but you can travel very high, very far. That can lead to an accident easily. So whenever you are having this kind of a congestion happening, I mean in this case there is totally stop and go condition, but even before stop and go condition, when actually the traffic was much like the traffic is getting congested. Things maybe now the traffic speed is maybe 80 or 60. You are highly likely to have the speed variations happening. Other thing that you can also notice from this kind of video is check different lanes. How different lane traffic is moving. Some lanes are still fast compared to the other lanes, right? There is a lane by lane variation also happening on it. You have, when you are trying to control the motorway section, the expressway sections, you have to think about the ways or strategies by which you can minimize the risk of incidents on the network, and that's why you want to come with some control. Yeah, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 lanes here, so it means that they are almost maybe twice a 2-lane arterial in terms of the lane size, but arterials carry less traffic. They are carrying much higher traffic volume. So it is actually a very high amount of demand flowing on it. So you have to basically give some priority to actually proper let it flow. Because anything happen, you are stuck there. You can be stuck there for hours. Imagine an incident happening here, and the next off ramp is maybe 2 kilometers upstream, and you are stuck at this point. There's no way you can take an off ramp. You are stuck on the motorway section. You cannot move out, and you might be stuck for hours for that one. So you have to look at the ways by which you can really make it more efficient. So motorways, yeah. So the motorway carry a large volume of traffic, which you have already seen, right? The queues there can be really very long. Number of people will be impacted. It has its own environmental and economic impact. Speed differential we have already seen is very high. You can have certain lanes with a high speed compared to the other lanes, which has a significant potential for severe accidents on the network. Now there are various control algorithms developed by agencies to control the motorways, and two of the algorithms are ramp metering, means when you are entering the motorway from the on ramp, you can meter them. Don't let them just enter blindly. Just hold and go, hold and go. That's one strategy that actually they can implement. Or that's one actuator that they have in their hand by which they can control the movement on the motorway. Second one is the variable speed limit. You can change the speed limit of the section based on your requirement. So you alter the speed limit on motorway sections for enhanced safety and or to enhance efficiency, but safety is the topmost priority here. These are the two ways by which you can control, and we are going to discuss these two ways. But before jumping there, let's go back to the real world fundamental diagram which you have seen in day 1. I'm now presenting you a fundamental diagram for the real motorway in the city of Brisbane. That's 54 northbound, one of the 3-lane section. But each of these are loops actually, by the way. For example, the loops might be somewhere here. They are loops. And you have already seen this, but I would like you to have another look on it. That's an average flow versus occupancy for this section. And you can see the flow is increasing certain point, and it is smooth flow now. Like yesterday we discussed about data smoothing. I am not showing you the actual value every 20 seconds, but a smooth by applying exponential smoothing. So you were here, you jumped there, and then now the system is congested. Only when you are playing in this region, that's the only time you can make some big impact. Once you are there, things have gone bad, and now you have recovered back. But this is a fundamental diagram you can see. For this specific site, an average over all the lanes is what you are observing, right? We talked about hysteresis. We said this is how the traffic went, but recovery was like this. What do you think can be the reason for this hysteresis? Why didn't the traffic go like this and return like that? What can be the reason for the hysteresis? This one is without any control. This is interesting side. This one that doesn't have a variable speed limit. But even, this one has no control. On Monday when I showed you the plots, they were with control, but they are without any control. When I say without any control, there is no variable speed limit. And this is a plot you're observing. This is now almost 7 p.m. and you are playing in the free flow region. Speed limit is fixed. Speed limit for this side is 80 kilometers per hour. It is fixed for these 3 lanes. It goes up and it comes like that, right? This, I will come back to the hysteresis, but this is one on when you take an average along that one. We have also seen when you look at individual lanes, lane 1, lane 2, lane 3. Australia has a left-hand driving, same like India, not like US where they have a right-hand driving. So your lane 1 is the leftmost lane, then this is the rightmost lane, and you can see that the kind of plot you're observing. We have discussed that different lanes are having a slightly different capacity. In this particular case, slightly different shape. But the plot is the whatever you see. And all of them have some level of hysteresis happening. So this is right now 9 a.m. in the morning and you are playing in this region. Yeah? Sorry? Cut in the first lane, or that might be an off-ramp going perhaps somewhere. What do you mean by cut? Cut is in the image you talked about previous? No, this is there's nothing on the first lane here. So all 3 lanes are like this. But they can happen that there's an off ramp. But in this particular section, there's no off ramp. It is it is just a section with actually 3 lanes, and you observe whatever we have shown here. Another section is on the bridge. We have 4 lanes actually. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 lanes. But actually the leftmost lane will exit the bridge. So now when you say that this one will exit the bridge, whereas the other ones won't. And this is the average that you get. So if you're driving on this portion of the bridge, if you're on the leftmost lane, you have to exit at the end of the bridge. So you will have slightly different behavior there. I will quickly speed forward this just for you to see, how the shape looks like. So that's how the spread is happening on this one. Yeah, and if you look at the individual lanes, lane 1, lane 2, lane 3, lane 4, this one you can see still in the lower one because the most of the traffic is basically on that one. Unfortunately, lane 3 data was not available on that day. So as you can see, data are not always perfect. So you will have errors. If you try to generate the cumulative plot, you're not counting anything from that one. And this for one of the days, 12th of March 2024, quite a recent plot. And you can see the shape happening, right? So shapes will be different and different sections will be behaving differently. So in this particular case, I would say this is the worst lane compared to that one. Yeah. So there is one lane which is behaving worse than the other one. And average performance will consider all the lanes. Another section, we are now looking at 23. So now we are looking at a long stretch like this. So this is 23 westbound. Again, this is 4 lanes and it's still on the bridge. It is just going in the other direction of the motorway. This is, let's say, 25 westbound, further upstream. Then this is 54. So you have an off ramp just before that. So your loops are here, but before that there was an off ramp. You can see that that traffic has left. So before this, and then if you go further up, in this particular case, you have no on ramp and off ramp, but you have a curvature. You can see the road is curving, and then again this one is having a curvature, and there is an off ramp. Or not, it's not an off ramp. This is basically an extra road going into the tunnel. So that's a toll road going along that. But again, you have these 4 lanes, and this diagram is just presenting them in order. So the first one I think is 23, 24, and so on. So you can see 23, 24, 25. Oh, sorry, whatever the numbers were. So you can see the order. Downstream is here, upstream is there. So we are trying to present everything in one snapshot for you to see how the progression happens. So you can see that this loop was not working. Right now, none of them are congested. It's early in the morning sometime. This one is now actually getting, this one is actually getting congested. And then the congestion spreads very quickly to upstream. So now you can see all the sections or all the locations as like in just one snapshot. So what inferences can you make from here? Like if maybe I bring it. How do I bring it? So at this time, there's no congestion. If I go slightly, if I just keep on increasing, so you can see this one is now congested, going down. Others are not congested at this stage. And whatever that time is. Unfortunately, it's hard to see the time. What time? This is around 6 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. So, so you can see there are more congestion happening here, but this one is still not congested. And then the congestion keeps on, spreading up, and now all of them are congested. Yeah, that's. Whereas you can see, you might have some missing data, and you will have one of the worst lanes among the other ones, right? So based on this, if you have to make some decision, you will say, okay, I can focus on a decision based on the average among all the lanes, or I can focus my decision based on the worst among all the lanes. And generally, if you are taking a decision for the variable speed, you will go for the worst one, not the average one. With the worst, once the queue is formed on one, it will easily spread to other ones. But if the queue is formed, the speed variations are there, differentials are there, you have to take an action. So these real world data set, the real data sets give you enough data points or enough data point in real time so that you can make some decisions in the real time without having a human intervention, without having too much human intervention. So this is just flow versus occupancy, speed versus occupancy, and speed versus flow and speed versus occupancy plot. And the one that you see here is now a speed plot for one of the detectors. I don't remember which detector it is, but for one of them. You can see that this is a time series, by the way. Sorry. There is a sudden drop in the speed happening, right? That's what we call as a breakdown on the motorway. So when you have a sudden drop happening, it's a breakdown. And there are different ways to identify the breakdown, and we want to avoid that. We want to delay the onset of this. We want to shift it more towards the right in time, and we want to squeeze it. We don't want it to expand it, right?
So breakdown here means
the traffic has broken down. Means the traffic is now fully, like, the traffic has, see, from 80 or 90 you have gone down to 20. Things are really gone very, very quickly. That's a breakdown. Bandwidth means that traffic is fully congested. But if you have seen that, when you are fluctuating, you are moving very close, and all of a sudden you go there. So you have to make some decision at this point only. So we are going to use this diagram to do the RAM metering. We are going to use this and this diagram for the variable speed limit. I want to show you one of the impact of incidents on the motorway. This is like on one of the days recently, 15th of July 2024. There were 2 incidents on the motorway, and I was stuck in the traffic for almost maybe 45 minutes to 1 hour. And so I asked my team to just extract the data and show me how the traffic looks like for my teaching purpose. There was one incident here, second incident there, and that's from the dash cam of my car. So you can see there was incident, even the fire trucks were there, etc. And this is just before 1 kilometer before the exit. And this, I was stuck in this incident. So incident location 1, incident location 2, that's the direction of flow. Yeah. You have, so basically you have different loop detectors, 81, 80, 78, 76, and so on. These are the numbers of the loop detectors. This is just a systematic sketch. That's incident location 2. So 1 was downstream, 2 is upstream. But if you look back at the time, 1 occurred at 2:58 a.m., second occurred at 6:13 p.m. Start time is quite different. They are not primary and secondary incidents. They are 2 separate incidents, unfortunately, along the same corridor on the same day. This one here is around 4, that one cleared around 7. So 45 minutes was the delay. Let's have a look. That's the second incident which has happened. So you have the loops as you can see here. So for this specific loop, that's the direction of flow. So flow is going from, so basically the traffic will be congested. The orange lines are the incident day, whereas the blue one is the normal day. He just took any of the normal day just to show the difference. So obviously this site, which is quite near to the exit, doesn't have that much congestion normally. But during an incident day, you can see that congestion. This congestion is in the evening congestion. This is a spillover from the morning one. The morning congestion was not that, so morning incident was somewhere here. And we are talking about a site somewhere here, right? So you can see the impact of the morning incident, how much it was. This is average speed, this is average flow, the flow has dropped, occupancy has increased all the way to 30 to 50% on the motorway. Yeah, high occupancy. If I go to another site, the speed from 80 have dropped. In fact, during the normal days also you get congestion, but has dropped further than that. You are congested around 30 to 40, you are gone to 10. Flow has gone down, occupancy has gone up to even 60%. So on the motorway, occupancy of 30, 60 is very high occupancy. It means that the things have already gone, to the congested regime. Further up, things were anyway congested during the normal condition. That day has gone really, it's almost stop condition. So you can see the morning incident was actually very bad. It stressed all the way through the upstream location. And then this is the speed, incident flow dropped, occupancy has also gone up. Oh, this is the morning is okay, afternoon and the evening. Sorry, it was the okay. What I said to in the beginning was there were two incidents. Incident one happened at 2:58 p.m. around 3 p.m. Incident two happened at 6 p.m. So incident one it should be afternoon incident and the evening incident. But this incident cleared by 4. This incident cleared by 7. So, but when I'm showing the plot to you, I'm showing the plot all the way from 12 to midnight. So this is the one because of the first incident, second incident. Let's call it first and second. Yeah. So so on. I mean, the reason I'm showing it to you, you can get some feel of the values of the occupancy, get some feel of the values of the flow and speed when things are really congested. And these are really stop conditions because the speed is very low, around 5, right? The good thing was it was not full blockage. 1 or 2 lanes were blocked, but still the traffic was flowing further on. That's why you have some speed happening. Then this is another one, and you can see the impact is so large. I like this. I mean, he has done a good job. He has tried to show the band, the width also, so you can see how it is moving from one time to another time. Did the first incident affect the second one?
Because of the first incident, occupancy would have gone up.
Yeah.
Did there actually also affect the occupancy of the second?
At this stage, no, because you can see that this has gone up. That's what you can see here. The incident was cleared. Things are now back to normal, and then it has gone down. So these are not the related incidents. They are two independent incidents. When there are also we call it secondary incidents. When an accident happens, traffic is getting congested, and somebody else have a second incident, and the likelihood of secondary incident is much higher because now the congestion is growing. And you can have multiple incidents on the road network if you do not take immediate actions. That's why whenever the incident is on the motorway or the high volume road, you take immediate actions. You want to clear it as early as possible because that is going to lead to severe multiple incidents. And this is the last one. This is the one which is immediately downstream of the incident location. Yeah. So speeds normally go very low, densities, occupancies go very high, and the flow will also drop in that case, obviously. Yeah, that's for the fundamental diagram. We can continue further, or if you want to take a break, you want to take a break, or you want to continue. What time we have a tea break? 11. Shall we continue or shall we? It's up to you. I mean, I can talk.
If it is ready, we can have.
Is it ready? Then we have a tea break, then we start this one, right? It's better. Otherwise, I will have to stop in between. So, online audience, we are starting in what time? 15 minutes? 20 minutes? Is enough? 15? Yeah, we will start in 15 minutes. We don't need to have a half an hour break, right? Fine, right? Are you okay? Just have 15 minutes break. So, we will see in 15 minutes time.